Merry Meet and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. The lovely moderators for today on YouTube is the lovely Shirley and on Twitch is the lovely Deline. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today. We will get right to our Psalm spell in just one moment. A reminder that we do have a premiere at 11 a.m. Pacific. If you are around, we'd love to have you there on the main YouTube channel. That's the one that you're watching on right now if you're watching on YouTube. And if you happen to be on Twitch, maybe you can bounce on over to YouTube at 11 a.m. Pacific to watch that premiere with us. We're here every Saturday doing Psalm spells, and we are almost, well, I don't know, maybe about 2/3 of the way through the second round of the book of Psalms. So soon there will be 2 Psalm videos for each and every Psalm. Right now there's 2 for about, like I said, maybe 2/3 of them, and then the rest of them there's just 1. So we'll just keep going through the book of Psalms until everybody's sick of me doing that. We'll just keep doing more and more. Let's see. We have a shop, arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We are doing an overhaul of that. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, but in the meantime, it is a bunch of affiliate links, which means that we make a small commission off of each and every sale. We do appreciate your support. Another way to support us is with a donation. You can donate by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga. paypal.me/arielgatoga. If you're watching on YouTube, you could also use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks. We do appreciate your support. Mostly we just appreciate that you're here, though. Or not mostly, that is what we appreciate, is that you're here. We have chat threads open on each of those streams. Please avail yourself to them should you like to chat. We'd love to have you chatting, and you're not interrupting anything. You don't have to chat about what we're talking about. You just chat with however you like. If you do have a question for me, you can put it in the chat thread. I don't know that I'll have time to get to it today just because of that premiere, and the psalm is rather long. But if I do have time, I will get to it today. Otherwise, tune in tomorrow. I'll take your question tomorrow. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, we have a website, arielscorner.com, arielscorner.com. That's where you can find everything that you need at Ariel's Corner. All of it's free of charge, so please take advantage of it. Do notice that on every page of that website there is a footer, and that's where you can find all of our social media links, including our Discord server and our private Facebook group. And that's where you can be part of the community, ask questions, answer questions, be part of discussions, and we'd love to have you there. Okay, I think I did everything. We can get going with our psalm spell. Oh wait, before we do that, I did have a question that came in. It was the question about what the different capitalizations are in the King James Version of the Bible regarding God and Lord. Okay, so in the Old Testament, God, which is all lowercase, refers to a deity or object of worship, and sometimes it denotes a judge or magistrate, and it's never used to refer to God as infinite intelligence, as the supreme being. So God with all lowercase just is dealing with the noun of any kind of God or deity, magistrate or person of power. God, where the G only is capitalized, represents Elohim. God, all uppercase, refers to the Tetragrammaton. So if it's all uppercase, it refers to the Tetragrammaton. When Lord is all uppercase, it also refers to the Tetragrammaton, Yud He Vav He. And when Lord is just the first L capitalized, it means Lord. And the reason why sometimes they'll do that is if there is a word that means Lord God, if they did Lord with all caps and then capital G, it would be Lord. So they'll do Lord God all caps, meaning Yud He Vav He, and Lord with just a capital L, so that it's Lord Yud He Vav He. I know it's confusing, but for us, Lord all caps is the Tetragrammaton. God all caps is God with just the initial cap is Elohim. Occasionally you'll see God all caps. Occasionally you'll see the Lord with only the first capital, and that's not as common, but that's usually when they put them together to mean Lord God. Hopefully that helps. For the most part, Lord in the Psalms means Yud He Vav He, and God means Elohim. Hopefully that helps and didn't just confuse you more, because it sounds like I said it in a really confusing way, and that's just because I'm not talking as well as I normally do today, just because I got up with a foggy brain. So sorry about that if I made it more confusing. Let's get going on this spell. Here we go. Today we're working on Psalm 55. In Psalm Magic, you can find typically Psalm 55 worked to overcome evil, to overcome the fear of death, to overcome betrayal, and to overcome worries. Psalm 55 is a cursing psalm. It's one of the psalms of imprecation. Today I'm going to be working Psalm 55 to overcome betrayal. So if you've been betrayed or if you've betrayed another, this is a wonderful psalm to come to find some resolution to that. The way we work Psalm Magic is very simple and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is called an incantation. Then we go back through that same psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. And we search for hidden occult meanings within the words. And we just do our best. There's not any right or wrong way to do it. You just allow the psalm to lead you through itself. Similar to when you're doing a tarot reading. You just do your best to find whatever meanings you're led to find. And by doing this, what you're doing is discovering magic seeds within the psalm and thus planting those seeds in the depths of your mind, where they take root, grow, blossom forth, and bear fruit after their kind. And that is what we are going to do together right now. With again with this, I always forget this. Sorry about that, guys. Stop it. When I'm done with the rosary on Friday, I always just shut down because I'm like, whoo, and I forget to turn off the music. And then we go through this every Saturday. And that's exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 55. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplication. Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint and make a noise, because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. My heart is sore pained within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me. And I said, Oh, that I had wings like a dove, for then would I fly away and be at rest. Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness, Selah. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets. For it was not an enemy that reproached me. Then I could have borne it. Neither was it he that hated me that did Neither was it that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. But it was thou, a man, mine equal, my guide, and mine acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together, and walked unto the house of God in company. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is their dwellings and among them. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. Evening and morning, and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah. Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Curse, 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 curse. It's a very cursy psalm, so we want to just get into the curse of it all. It's so important in this kind of magic when we have these laments and these curses and things like that, that we allow whatever it is that we're working on to come up. We're not trying to suppress things. And this was kind of the whole point of cursing, is to get to a point of resolution, to get to a point of, dare I say, forgiveness, even though that's a very dirty word sometimes these days. You don't just get to resolution. You don't just get to forgiveness. You have to go through the resentment. You have to go through the trials, the tribulations, the cursing that needs to happen in order to get to the other side. And that's why the psalm magic is so powerful, is it doesn't pussyfoot around. It doesn't pretend like everything is just cool when it's not. So it starts out with, give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplication. God is Elohim, that is the council, if you will. Elohim is a collective. It's one God, but it's a God that is a collective. You can think of it as the host of angels, the angelic host. So it's important for us to orient ourselves to this force. This is a force that is the source of all that is. There is none other. And therefore, it has all power. And whoever God is for, nothing can be against. And so when we orient ourselves to this one power, our success in our magic is assured. It's addressing this force by saying, give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not thyself from my supplication. You can think of that as a poetic way of stating the obvious, that infinite intelligence is always there, always listening, won't ever say no to us, won't ever turn away from us. Attend unto me and hear me. I mourn in my complaint, and I make a noise. So we are making a noise. We are stating what is what. And it's so important for us to give ourselves permission to feel what we're feeling and to go through what we're going through and to have the hatreds that we have the resentments that we have. Somebody's betrayed you. That sucks. And anybody that knows betrayal, you don't know the definition of the word betrayal until it's happened to you. You know, you don't know what that feels like until it's happened to you. It's all just very theoretical. But as soon as somebody betrays you, especially somebody very close to you, you know what that word means. When somebody like a teacher or a therapist or a doctor betrays you, you know what that's like. When a loved one betrays you, when somebody that you trust with your whole life betrays you, you know what that feels like then. That's what betrayal is, and that's what we're talking about here. Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they cast iniquity upon me, and in wrath they hate me. Now, let's be clear here that the enemy is not limited to the person who betrayed you. it's important for us to understand that that betrayal is a symbol for us of something that's a thought form called the ego mind, because the ego mind has been betraying us since the beginning. And so all of these other people who betray us, we're not saying that they're not important. We're not saying we don't want to take care of this. We're not saying that we're not hurt. But we also have to understand that betrayal is nothing new. We've been betraying ourselves for a long, long time. So let's just bring it all together here and realize and recognize that this betrayal that's happening to us is also not new. This world is a world of betrayal, and we live in a mind that betrays us. But infinite intelligence doesn't betray us, and that's why we go to the infinite. That's why we go to God, is because that is where we find refuge from the betrayal. That's why we find healing from the betrayal. That's where we find safety, where we cannot be betrayed. My heart is sore pained within me, and the terrors of death are fallen upon me. So your heart is your soul, your inner deep mind, the depths of your consciousness is sore pained within me. That's when you are betrayed on that level, everything feels different. You can't see the world the same again. Everything's different. And that's when the terrors of death are fallen upon you. Because since the world isn't the same anymore, you realize that you were disillusioned about what this world is. If people can betray you on that level, then you can't trust anything in this world. And those are the terrors of death that are fallen upon you, because this is a world of death. Fearfulness and trembling are come upon me, and horror hath overwhelmed me. Horror. This is not a film. This is not a horror movie. This is real horror that's really going on in your life. Fearfulness and trembling. This world is not safe, and you are realizing how unsafe this world is if people who you've trusted are betraying you. What can you trust? What can you trust anymore? And I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove, then I would fly away and be at rest. I want to escape this world. I want to escape these feelings. I want to fly far, far away where none of this is really happening. I want to go into a fantasy land where there is no betrayal. I want to go somewhere. There's got to be some corner of the universe where things are safe, because it sure isn't here. I want to fly away and be at rest, because I can't rest in this world. I can't have peace here, because I can't trust anything or anyone. Lo, then I would wander off and remain in the wilderness. Selah. I'd rather be in the freaking wilderness than in this world. I'd rather be lost for all time than go through what I'm going through here. Selah. Let's reflect on those feelings. I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. Speed it up a little, we're saying. I want to speed this up. I want to get out of Dodge. I would rather die than live another day in this godforsaken world. We know what that's like, right? Now again, we're not going to stay here. Some will not leave us here, I promise. But it's important to drag it up, to really see what you're feeling underneath everything. These are great, great tools to activate us. Now, we brought all that up. What are we going to do with it? Well, our first response is, destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. Okay, the city is where your conscious mind is. All the time, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, what your eyes are reporting to you, what your ears are reporting to you, all your senses, it's your sensory world. You have seen violence and strife. So this betrayal is a real deal for you. And you want that betrayer and all who helped to be destroyed, and their tongues to be divided. That means that they no longer have any power to communicate. Day and night they go about it upon the walls thereof. Mischief also and sorrow are in the midst of it. This city, this place, everything that I see, basically, is unsafe. All these enemies, all these awful people, maybe it looks like only one person. You know how that is. If one person betrays you, all of a sudden everybody's that. When you break up with somebody, all of a sudden the world is a painful place. When you lose somebody, when somebody dies, oh, everything is a mournful place. When you're having a good day, oh, isn't it a beautiful world? That's the power of projection. That's how we roll here. So right now, since somebody betrayed me, everything sucks in this world. Everything's bad. Not one good thing. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from her streets. I don't believe a thing that comes out of anybody's mouth now. That's what they've done to me. That's what these deceivers have done to me, these betrayers. I don't trust anybody. This is an unsafe world. For it was not an enemy that reproached me, or I could have borne it. That's the thing, right? If you were an ass, I could have understood it, but you were my trusted friend, or my family member, or my therapist, or my doctor, or my priest, or my minister, or whoever. I trusted you, and you did this to me? Neither was it he that hated me that did magnify himself against me. Then I would have hid myself from him. If I would have known this is who you are, I wouldn't have had anything to do with you. I would have protected myself from you. But you did this to me. You whom I trusted, I really believed that I was safe with you, and this is how you treated me. But it was thou, a man mine equal, my guide, mine acquaintance, same thing. How could you? How could you have done this to me? We took sweet counsel together and walked in the house of God in company. Right? It's just the tragedy of it when somebody betrays you. Let death seize upon them, and let them go down quick into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. So that's our response. By the way, God, send them straight to hell. Send them straight to hell. Kill them. Destroy them. They do not deserve to be alive. They can go play with all the other evil, awful, wicked people. They don't deserve to be in this world. As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. So we have pivoted, as the Psalms do. So I know what I want. I want this person punished. I want this person sent to hell. I want this person to writhe in agony. I want them to know that they messed with the wrong person. That's what I want. But I trust you, God. I know that you're going to do right by me, because you're the place where I don't get betrayal. You're the place where everything always works out for me. You're the place that can correct this, heal this, and make it right. I don't have any clue how you can do that, but you can, because you've proven to me time and time again that when I turn to you, things get done. When I try to do them myself, not so much. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. Pray unceasingly. That's a magical tool. Pray unceasingly. No matter what you're doing, where you are, you learn how to pivot. You learn how to, after you've got it, you like I said, we can't just pretend like everything's cool when it's not. But once you bring it up, once you bring all this stuff up, then it's up to you to be the magician and say, now I'm going to turn away from all of this and turn completely to the name of God, completely to contemplating what the qualities of the infinite are. There's infinite life, infinite soul, infinite spirit, infinite intelligence, divine truth, perfect truth, divine and perfect love. There's divine law. There's the divine presence. These are names of God that I need to consider. Instead of thinking about how I was betrayed, I've brought that up. Now I've given it to God to take care of, and I've got to just keep my mind stayed on the infinite. And when I do that, then the magic starts to happen, and something miraculous happens. And I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know how it's going to work, but I do know it is going to work, because it always does. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me. So we put things in the past tense for two reasons. For one, to remind ourselves every time we do this kind of work, it always does work. And also, when we put something in the past tense, it speeds up our results. Because what we want here, I know we think we want this person to suffer. I know we think we want this person to go to hell and die. And that's totally understandable. And you have a right to those feelings. It's even given voice to those feelings in this psalm. However, on the other side of that, you want peace. That's what you want. You want peace and freedom. And that's what God is going to give you. God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah. So God's taking care of this. God can take care of this. The problem that we tend to have with work like this is we are constantly looking over our shoulder or under the hood to say, did they get their just desserts yet? Has accountability come yet? Has it come yet? That's not the way to be. Because that's not praying unceasingly. That's not putting your faith in infinite intelligence to take care of it for you. Because they have no changes. Therefore, they fear not God. They don't think they did anything wrong. So they don't fear God, meaning they don't have the experience of the presence of God. And they also don't fear repercussions because they don't even think they did anything wrong. They could betray me like this and laugh at it or think that they were justified in it. Ugh, horrible feeling. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. Now, that's an important thing to remind ourselves. When we have relationships with people, we have covenants with them. We have agreements with them, just like we have a covenant with the infinite. And when you break a covenant with your brother or sister, you have broken your covenant with the infinite. And it's important to remind ourselves of that because it's really easy to be all up in arms when it's done to you, but we have to remember that we betray others too. Maybe not to the degree that we were betrayed, but we betray others in our minds and in our hearts. We don't always think the best of people. We don't always think the best of everything. We don't always wish the best for everybody. Anybody that believes that they do are just probably not being as honest with themselves as they could be. So you've broken your covenant with people too. And so now you're asking for infinite intelligence to make it all straight and right again, no matter who broke what. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Oh, yeah, right? You know what that's like. Sometimes it's so obvious afterwards. It's like this person was such a narcissist. All they did was love bomb me. All they did was come in and tell me how fabulous I am or whatever, just so that they could screw me over, just so that they could take advantage of me, just so that they could betray me. I believed every stupid thing that came out of their mouth. We're not pretending that didn't happen. Now, it's all of a sudden this psalmist is telling us something. So the psalmist gave word to all of what we're going through, gave us the prayers, gave us the supplication, but now they are giving us personal instruction on what to do. It says, cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. So you cast that burden on infinite intelligence within you, and you go free. And you do not accept anything less than freedom, anything less than peace, anything less than pure resolution. And for as long as you're being tormented by this, you keep casting that burden over and over and over again, because that's what infinite intelligence wants from you. It wants to take this burden from you and make it all right again. But thou, O God, shalt bring them down into the pit of destruction. Bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in thee. Now, that's true. Infinite intelligence will make right everything. And from our point of view, the only way things are going to be right again is if they suffer. And that's okay. Infinite intelligence can handle that. It can handle that we're not, even close to being able to forgive, to let it go. But within the psalm, there are safeguards so that we don't drag ourselves down into that pit of destruction. So what we have to do is, now that we've said this, now that we've let it go, we have to take that instruction that we are going to keep our mind stayed on the infinite, that we are going to keep casting our burden, whatever that happens to look like, on infinite intelligence within, and we are not going to be satisfied until we are free of this. And that's the whole point of this psalm. And so you must keep coming back to this psalm every single day until you get that sense of freedom, that sense of peace and certainty that all is well. And when you get that, then you know your spell has taken, and you can just move off of this one and get onto something else. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be. For some reason, I thought that was going to last a lot longer, but I guess it wasn't quite as long as I thought it was. So if anybody has any questions, can I use this for my own self-betrayal? Of course you can. Absolutely. And that's an excellent question. I'm so glad you asked that. Yes, you can. Because it's not yourself that's betraying you. It's your false self that's betraying you. And that's the whole point of all of it. Ultimately, what's being destroyed is the ego mind. And it's not even being destroyed. It looks like destruction from our point of view. It's just being shined away as the illusion that it is. And when that's shined away, ultimately, all the betrayal gets shined away with it. Whether it's betrayal that's internal with ourselves or betrayal that comes from other people. All of that just gets shined away, and none of it's a thing anymore. It's all just... And ultimately, whether you want to hear this now or not, you will forgive. Ultimately, all will be forgiven. You're just not there yet. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to be. There's no rush, but it will happen. It will happen that you're free of this, and that all will be love again. Okay, so that was a wonderful, wonderful psalm. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. 10 minutes from now, we will have a premiere. I hope that you can join us on YouTube. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Shirley and Deline. And we will see you all real soon. Blessed be.